Hey, how's it going, everyone? What is up, and welcome to my Avengers Age of Ultron review. So instead of doing an Arrow bonus video today, I thought I'd do this. Well, technically it's in the morning, but very early in the morning, but still. First off, I want to apologize. From my knowledge right now, I'm only gonna have one picture showing throughout the entire video. I don't feel like searching for a whole bunch of low-res pictures just to go up. So if I can find one or two, maybe three good high-res promo pictures, I'll put those up. So yeah, we're going to start by talking about the pros, and then we're going to move into the cons, and then I'll give my final score on it at the end. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump into it. I forgot to mention this before we get into the video. Gigantic spoiler alert. I will be spoiling almost every fucking thing in this movie, okay? So if you haven't seen the movie yet, do not watch this. Do not spoil the movie for yourself. Scrape up some money and go watch the movie before you watch this. After you watch the movie, come back and watch this. So yeah, giant spoiler warning. Okay, let's get into it. So I have the pros numbered. We're going to start with number one, of course, the story and the fight scenes. So the story was straight up amazing. The only thing that really kind of bugged me about it, and it shouldn't have bugged me about it, is how no one bats an eye when Tony Stark creates Ultron out of fear. And Ant-Man doesn't create it, but the Joker has tattoos and everyone loses their minds. Yes, that is a Joker meme, but yeah, still, that's the only thing that bothered me about it. The story was excellent. Just the whole Ultron thing, we'll talk about that a little bit later, was awesome. How he wanted to exterminate humanity for it to evolve. Just, the story was straight up awesome as hell. And the fight scenes were even cooler. Like, these, of course, are some of the greatest fight scenes I've ever seen in a movie. DC, Marvel, fucking whatever. These were some awesome fight scenes, and you'd expect it out of the Avengers too, because it has to live up to the Avengers 1. The Avengers 1 had the best fight scenes until this. Man of Steel's were good, but they were nowhere in comparison to the fight scenes in Avengers. And the fight scenes in Avengers are nowhere compared to the fight scenes in this movie. But yeah. So number two, the comedy. The comedy in this movie was great. Like, this movie, with DC movies, I'm a DC guy. I don't usually do Marvel stuff. Like, I watch the movies when they come out because it's a big thing. I like being in on big things. They're good movies. But in Marvel movies, you don't expect to laugh. Or not Marvel, DC movies, you don't expect to laugh. And Man of Steel, I don't think I laughed once. In this movie, it had me laughing like every 5 or 10 minutes. There was just a funny scene around every corner. Like, there's two of them that really got me, but I'm only going to talk about one because I'm going to talk about the other one in a later moment. When Tony Stark is trying to get into a secret room, he's like, secret room, or a secret doorway, or something like that. And he gets it right, and he opens it, and he goes, "Yay!" I busted out laughing, and that was some of the funniest shit. I don't even know why. He just goes, "Yay!" Tony Stark was awesome in this movie. He was like the center of the hilarity in the movie. Him and Hawkeye, I'll talk about that a little bit later too. Like, I have every single thing written down, so I have to be limited on what I talk about in a moment, or a pro, or whatever. But yeah, Tony and Hawkeye were the center of the hilarity in this episode, but Ultron had some good ones, some good jokes and shit like that. But yeah, let's go ahead and move into Ultron. So Ultron is the greatest movie villain that I think has ever existed. I don't know, him and Heath Ledger's Joker are neck and neck for me. This villain was so good. He was so hell-bent on exterminating humanity because he thinks that will accomplish the purpose that he was put on the earth for. He's just so twisted. And he's like a machine, but human. He's like Tony Stark. He's an evil Tony Stark, essentially. He's got the comedy that Tony Stark has, Iron Man has. But he's evil. He's wanting to extinct, basically, the human race, because, well, I don't think it really said this in the comics, or in the movie, but in the comics, he views them as the problem. To protect humanity, he has to exterminate humanity. And I found that very, very interesting. There was a part to his story that I didn't like, but that'll be talked about in the cons. But yeah, Ultron, overall, he had great monologues, great evil speeches, great, like, innocent. Like, he was just so innocent sometimes and so funny. It was great. Like, in this one part, he chopped off this guy's arm because he called him a creation of Tony Stark or something like that. And he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sure that'll be fine." And I just, it was hilarious. He had comedy. He had great evil monologues, and the purpose behind what he was doing was just like great. There's no other thing for it. But yeah, moving on. So my number 4 pro, Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. Now I was kind of hesitant to put these in the pro, because there was some things that I didn't like about the characters. I really didn't like how they were from Russia, or not Russia, but their accents. I liked the accents, but it really didn't fit the character. I'm pretty sure in the comics they weren't from any place in Europe that would give them an accent like that. They were Magneto's kids in the comics. So, of course, they can't do that because Fox owns the right to, like, every X-Men character, whether it be good or bad. So they, of course, couldn't do that, so they had to invent a new freaking thing for Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. And while it fits, and it's a good backstory, it just really bothered me with their accents. But besides that, it's like I'm in a con. They were great. They were really great. The actor and actress were awesome. The Quicksilver effects were straight up cool. Of course, not as cool as The Flash. Even the TV show. The TV show was... I think they had better effects on the TV show than in the movie. Even though Quicksilver was a big focus of the movie, he wasn't the biggest, so they didn't really focus on him too much with his effects. I could be speaking out of complete bias, and his effects could be way cooler than The Flash's TV show, but to me they weren't. But the effects in this and Quicksilver in this just makes me want a Flash movie even worse, and it's coming. But yeah, Quicksilver, he was great. He had some good funny scenes, how he called Hawkeye old man, and how he was messing with Hawkeye pretty much the entire movie. And yeah, Scarlet Witch was just as good. The actress was great. She had really cool effects behind her. Her powers were really cool. How she made Tony, like, see into the future, I want to say, or the future, or just into his greatest fear, of seeing all the Avengers but him dead. And it was just really cool. Her powers were cool. The effects behind her powers were awesome. It really fit, and I enjoyed them. So my number 5 pro, Vision. Vision was awesome. Like, how he looked was a little bit wonky at first, but it grew on you. But yeah, it was awesome to see the Vision from the comics coming into the movie and basically helped save the day. And it really got me when he handed Thor's hammer to him. Like, earlier in the movie, there was this really funny scene where everyone was trying to pick up Thor's hammer, and none of them could do it. Cap came close, but then Vision just tosses Thor's hammer to him, like, "Hey bud, here you go." You know, and it was just great. How Vision was created was awesome. Thor created him, essentially. Well, Ultron created him. Cap was trying to shut down Vision, or shut down him being created, and Thor just jumps in with the hammer and electrocutes his pod and supercharges him out. Just like how he was created, how his character acted, and the fact that he got the final blow in on Ultron, it just made him even better. It was completely fucking awesome. So my number 6 pro, Hawkeye in general. So Hawkeye had a significantly bigger part in this movie than he had in the first movie. Of course, in the first movie, he was one of Loki's henchmen because he was possessed, I want to say, or under the influence of the mind gem, so he could really do nothing about it. So in this movie, he got a way bigger part. Him and Tony, like I said earlier, were the center of attention when it came to the hilariousness, I want to say. And a scene that really got me for him was when him and Scarlet Witch were in a market talking, and he's like, robots are invading or something, some shit, and I've got a bow and arrow. It makes no sense, I know. I can't remember it word for word, but it cracked me up. It was awesome. Hawkeye in this movie made it even better. I'm glad they just didn't toss him out like at the beginning, by making him a henchman again somehow. They actually gave him a big part, and it paid off in my eyes. He was a really good character. Number 7 pro, Hulk versus Hulkbuster. One of the funniest fight scenes I've ever seen in my life. How it was supposed to be so serious. Like, you could see that some of the people in that scene were dying. Like, some people in that scene died. But no, they still made the fucking scene hilarious. The fight scene in, like, by itself was awesome. Things were blowing up, punches were thrown, teeth were knocked out, pieces of armor were knocked off. It was just great, visually, and I want to say choreographically. I'm pretty sure that's not even a word, but of course it was all CGI, so of course it was easily choreographed. So there was really no stuntman behind it, so I don't think you can really say that for it. But the funniness in this scene, I think there was like 2 parts. There could be 3 to it. There's one part where the Hulkbuster, Iron Man, gets him on the ground, Hulk on the ground, and he starts repeatedly punching him really fast and hard. And he's like, "Go sleep, go sleep, go sleep, go sleep, go sleep." That cracked me up horribly. And then there's another scene. He knocks one of Hulk's tooth. Why am I stuttering? He knocks one of Hulk's teeth out. Hulk looks at him and he says, "Sorry." It was great. It was one of the funniest fight scenes I've ever seen in my life. So number 8, pro, the final battle. So as I was talking about the fight scenes at the very beginning of the video, almost, the fight scenes were awesome. This scene and the Hulkbuster scene, they take the cake for the best battles in the movie. But this battle was super awesome. They were on top of a flying land, like a city that was lifted into the air, and it was just cool. Like, stuff was blowing up, people were getting hit, Quicksilver was beating robots' ass in super speed, Hawkeye was shooting them real fast with bows and arrows, and Captain America was throwing his shield at them. Can I just take for like a split second and say how well this movie looked? Like, as far as Quicksilver destroying the robots, Captain America throwing his shield and hitting shit, and just everything like that. It was awesome. Especially in this scene. It was so good. Captain America was kicking ass, so was Thor, Hulk. It was just great. That's pretty much all I have to say about it. The final battle in this movie was the best battle I've ever seen in a movie before. Guardians of the Galaxy didn't really have a big final battle. It was more like a dance-off. The Avengers one had an amazing battle. Not as good as this. And yeah, this is one of the greatest battles I've ever seen in a movie, if not the greatest. Man of Steel's very good. So my final pro, Cap and Tony's banter. Now, even though this is a small pro, I'm only putting it here because we all know what this leads up to. Cap and Tony didn't really get along in more than a few scenes in the movie. They really butted heads a couple of times, and the only reason I have this as a pro is because I know it's setting up Civil War. Civil War is like the next Avengers movie, and I cannot wait for it. I've read the comic twice. It's an amazing comic. I cannot wait to see Spider-Man in it. It's just going to hit the fan. The banter between these two went back and forth just like it did in the first movie, and it was great, and it's building up, and it's gonna explode in Civil War. But yeah, let's move into the con. So my number 1 con, the big evil plot. So Ultron's big evil plot didn't really settle with me very well. I am going to extinct humanity, but I'm going to extinct humanity in the lamest way possible. I'm going to use vibranium, or whatever it is, to raise this big chunk of land off the ground and crash it back into the earth. To me, like, extincting, that's not a word, is it? Plotting the downfall of humanity is a great plot in its own. Like, yeah, that's the plot straight out of the comics. He's going to fix humanity by destroying humanity. The way he was going to do it, I didn't like at all. Be more creative. If you're going to, like, destroy humanity as a whole, don't pick up a giant landmass and throw it back down. To me, that's just not interesting at all. One of my friends brought up a point saying that it's never been done before. And my rebuttal was, it's never been done before, yeah, but that doesn't make it any more interesting. It just wasn't interesting to me. I didn't like it, but that's completely opinion based. So on to my next con, Bruce Banner and Black Widow's romance. Now, on the reviews that I have seen for the movie, this was a minus for a lot of them, and it's understandable. This just got in the way of a lot. It was needed, I guess, but it was just dragging for me. It's like they had a couple out of place scenes, like, oh, I should have joined you in the shower, and shit like that. It was understandable when she needed to calm him down. But the shower scene was very unnecessary in my opinion. Although I'm not arguing with it, I just didn't like it very much. But yeah, just the Bruce Banner and Black Widow romance in a whole. The Hulk and Black Widow thing was understandable because he needed to be calmed down and brought back to Bruce Banner. But yeah. So my number 3 con, Quicksilver's death. So yeah, Quicksilver dies in the movie. I had it spoiled for me last night before I even got to see the movie. I was watching a Twitch stream and someone subbed with the name Ultron kills Quicksilver. So I knew it was happening. I expected him to go out in a blaze of glory, but the way he died isn't the con about this. The way he died was alright. He died saving Hawkeye and a little boy. He got shot up by a jet by Ultron. And he just fell on the ground after saying, I didn't see that one coming, or whatever. Or I didn't even say, or whatever, what that was. Or something like that. And it's not even how he died that got me. It's that he died. You can't introduce a character. I know it's a comic book movie, and in comic books and comic book movies, no one's ever truly dead. But you can't introduce a character in their first movie, really, and then kill him off in the same movie. There was a little bit of character progression for Quicksilver. There was a lot for Scarlet Witch, I believe. That's just my opinion. It could be completely equal, but I didn't really feel like Quicksilver was advanced much. She had like one good heartfelt scene, and that was when he was explaining how him and Scarlet Witch were trapped under a bed next to a Tony Stark bomb. I just didn't think they progressed him enough to kill him off in the first movie he was in. Of course, he'll probably be brought back, but I just didn't like that they did it. So my number 4 con, the aftermath. The aftermath of Ultron lifting a giant landmass, half of a city, up into the air, and almost dropping it back down, was everyone chilling out at a base with cool cars around them for 5 minutes and getting 2 talking scenes where they say they'll miss each other. The aftermath was not good at all for me. I can't really remember the aftermath of Avengers 1, but it wasn't really that good. They should have got awarded or something, like at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy when they got awarded for saving the fucking universe. Well, the Avengers should have been getting awarded with something for saving the fucking world and humanity in general. But no, it was just them saying how much they're gonna miss each other, and Captain America and Black Widow getting ready to train the new Avengers. And they even did tease that. Captain America said Avengers, and he was about to say a symbol, and then it cut, and it frustrated me a little bit there. So my number 5 con, the unnecessary Cap, Black Widow, sort of, and Thor vision. So in the movie, they had Scarlet Witch was messing with these 3 and Tony's mind to make them see their worst fears. Tony was totally necessary to have a vision because it led him to create Ultron. But these 3, they really had no point. Thor sort of had a point, because it led him to actually save Vision and help him be created. Black Widow sort of had a point because it tied into one scene, and that was the shower scene about her talking about how she couldn't have kids, but still I didn't like the romance shit, and so I'm not gonna like that. And Captain America's just didn't make sense at all. I was sitting there trying to make sense of it, but it made no sense. It's like, holy shit, hi Peggy, and we're back in 1940s, and the Nazis rule this club that we're in for some reason. Okay. It made no sense to me. It had no point to be there, and it just got me for some reason. I didn't like it. So my final con, and this one is being very picky. I am being very picky here. But there was no real reference to Black Panther, who has a movie coming up, besides them talking about Wakanda, like, once or twice, about the adamantium, whatever it is. I forget what the fucking metal's called, okay, I'm sorry. I thought he was going to make an appearance in the movie, and the fact that he didn't was pretty disappointing. Since he had a movie coming up soon, I thought we'd at least, like, hear a rumor, or like a picture, kind of like a Bigfoot picture of him running, or some shit. But we didn't even get that. We got Wakanda. I'm pretty sure they even mentioned Wakanda in Captain America the First Avenger, and maybe Avengers, I don't know. But Black Panther, you should be hyping the fuck out of Black Panther. He's an awesome hero, and his movie needs to be hyped. And what better time to hype the movie than in your, like, one of the biggest movies of the freaking summer, and one of the biggest movies in the next year until Batman vs. Superman comes out. And even past that for all the MCU fans who don't really like DCU. So, I mean, it disappointed me. I wish they would have gave a big reference to him to pump up the hype for his movie and his character. So, since this is, for me, it's 23 minutes long, I don't know how long it's going to be for you guys. I had a lot that I wanted to cover. This was a 2-hour movie, so of course it had to be long. But yeah, so my final score, if every pro except for one was a point, and the one that is left out of that is worth 2, like the story, Ultron, Quicksilver, Scarlet Witch, Vision, Hawkeye in general, Hulkbuster, the final battle, and Captain Tony's banter was worth 1, and the comedy was worth 2, then that would leave it at a 9. Or a 10, rather. I'm sorry, math. And if every con, like all 6 of them, was worth 1, not 1 apiece, just 1, then it seems like that fits for me. So this is a 9 out of 10. Better than Guardians of the Galaxy for me, and better than Avengers 1 for me. But that's all opinion based. Guardians of the Galaxy was amazing because it was new and different. This isn't new and different. It's different, but it takes the formula that Avengers 1 had and makes it 10 times better. It was just a great movie. The Quicksilver's death, the big evil plot, and the aftermath, if those 3 didn't happen, then it probably would have been a 10 out of 10. This movie was so close to perfect, guys. This movie was fucking awesome. But it just came up a little bit short of that 10. But yeah. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this very long review. I'm probably not going to enjoy making it because it's probably going to take me around 40 minutes to render like a 20-minute video because I like to get that HD, man. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.